1, 2, 3, 4.
Good morning, my bros and sisters, on this our 96th episode of the Good Morning Guys podcast. Thank you for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, or night as we discuss the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and play. Boom, boom. I am one of your hosts, the Brazilian mountaineer and transition ninja, Lucas Ham Swisher. Whew. Also with me, the judge, jury, and executioner of fake news and spoilers, and sometimes Long John Silver's, Patrick Novosel.
Wahoo!
Next to him, the volleyball and beast of the East who can make you laugh in 3 words or less, Ronnie Johantges.
Hello.
And our final member of the GMG quadfecta, who's got music in his heart, Doctor Who on his brain, and La Coretta in his old stomacho, the switch flipper himself, Marc Boucher.
It's me, Mark.
It is
Hello.
you. Hello. I almost wanted to sing the whole intro in between each of us.
I was wondering if you were going to.
I was going to, but honestly, I was like, no, you know what? I'm just going to do the beginning. Don't want too much of a good thing.
That's a lot of breath wasted.
Yeah, I know, right? All right,
motto
guys.
of this show.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. That's why they pay us the big bucks.
That's
Still
right.
waiting for the big bucks.
Still waiting on my first
96
check.
Yeah.
Episodes later.
All I need is Pat Mahomes' first day of his
Yep.
paycheck, and
I
I am
will take-
set for life.
I will take 1
Good
hour of his paycheck,
go.
as a matter of fact.
1 hour of his paycheck. You like stretch a little bit. You go and maybe get a drink of water, and you're like, okay, I'm good. Can I have my hour pay?
Yeah, it's like, hey, Pat,
$500.
hey Pat, you want $500 million? Whatever it is, yes.
I'll take $20 right now.
Right here, just to walk away. All right, before we jump into our updates, what's new with you news? A little housekeeping brought to you by our very own Discord, which is on and popping. Housekeeping, you need towel? You need me fluff pillow?
We do
Discord.
that? We fluff pillows?
I mean, hey, for the right
On
price.
occasion.
I do anything for
That's
money.
why they
so-
pay us the big bucks.
Exactly. To fluff the
I'm gonna
pillows.
put that on a shirt. That's why they pay us the big bucks.
Fluffing pillows for the big bucks. All right. Discord, unlike a hotel, is free to join, and it's easy to access on your smartphone app or web browser. And
you
it's
join
good mix
hotels?
between. You can. Okay. Let's scratch that. It's unlike a hotel.
Okay.
It's free to enter and easy to access.
Speedy
You don't
rewards
need a
card.
key. Yeah, we'll just change that up. Just use the technology. It's like Twitter, Facebook, a forum. It's really nice. Lots of talks about video games, dad jokes, sharing real life together. It's a good time. You can check out the link in the show notes or on Twitter at the GMG Podcast, which is another good way to connect with us beyond listening to the show. The only housekeeping I wanted to share is episode 100 is just around the corner.
Yeah, it is.
Sure is.
Spring break, woohoo!
Spring break.
You're all frozen. Oh, okay, there we go. No, you guys were like, for me, totally frozen. I don't know what's going on with my internet. All right. Yes, spring break, woohoo. It is going to be a lot. Woohoo. Moving
It's like
on. We're
checking it off the list. Spring
excited.
break, woohoo.
Yep. Well, I said it once. I was like, I don't know if that came through, so let's see what happens. It is going to be a live show through YouTube, I believe, on Saturday, August 1st. The pre-show will be starting promptly at 8:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the main show
Eastern
starting.
Daylight Time.
If you show up at 9, you're going to be fine.
Well, that's what I was
Never
getting
start-
to.
we will never
With
start
the
at
main
8:41.
show, the main show is starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or 8 p.m. Isaac-alistic time, or 10 p.m. my time in Brazil, at least my portion of Brazil, and then 2 a.m. Hafa Portugal time. Any other time zones we need to cover? Those are the only ones I could
It's
remember.
6 p.m. on the West Coast.
Okay, so all our West Coast folks, please join us. 6 p.m. Get your dinner out early, or just wait to have dinner. However you want to do it. I don't know if you
Or
do
eat dinner
podcasting on it.
while you're watching.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Or skip
won't-
dinner.
Yeah,
Just
skip-
make some popcorn.
It's overrated. But yeah, we will be hanging out. We will have already had dinner. We will be giving updates, talking about the best of the past 100 episodes, both from us and our joiners. We will have announcements for the next 100 episodes to come, surprises, personal announcements, a live Q&A from the 4 people who will be watching. Does that cover it? I'm really trying to sell this thing really well. Yeah, that I don't know if is there anything else. I didn't have the exhaustive list, honestly, and I didn't want to give away anything. So, did I mention spring break? Woohoo!
Spring break.
Is there an exhaustive list?
Who?
There is, but it's secret.
There's a list. I don't know if it's exhaustive.
I don't know, but Patrick did a pretty good job with the list, I thought.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's at youtube.com/thegoodmorningguys.
Yes.
Right?
That's important.
Yeah.
There'll be links everywhere.
Yeah.
Twitter, Discord, MySpace. We already talked to Justin Timberlake. It's been arranged. That's what I was up to this past
Have
week.
you talked to Tom yet, though?
Tom's out. He's been out for a while.
Oh, no way.
Has he?
Yeah.
I am
Yeah,
out.
he gave that up a long time ago.
I'm out of the MySpace news.
Man,
Yep.
I was
I think
celebrating.
everybody is.
I was yeah, I was celebrating that old Independence Day with Justin Timberlake, and he did not mention that. Speaking of Independence Day, happy belated July 4th. And I bet, unlike me, who's a liar pants and did not actually celebrate the 4th of July, I'm looking at 3 guys that probably did. So let's jump right in to what's new with you news and find out what you guys were up to on July 4th. Patrick.
Did you guys leave milk
Ronnie.
and cookies out for Captain America?
Is that how it works? Perfect.
Yes.
Yep.
I missed it.
I totally missed it. That's why we had a sucky happy 4th
If
of
you
July.
get a chance to get Chris
Jeez.
Evans in your house, you do it.
That's true. All right. Next year, I'm making milk and cookies. I'm going to make the milk. Go out back, get Bessie, and just...
He's not showing up for that.
You don't think so?
Sounds horrible.
No. But yeah, 4th. Fireworks.
Yep.
A dog's favorite holiday. That's
Oh, right. Yeah, they love it. It is their favorite.
Yeah, we set off fireworks on Friday night because our neighbors were going out of town on Saturday, so we were like, okay, let's do them on Friday night instead. And we did it big this year. We did more than just the normal poppets and fountains that we usually do with the kids. We had gone to we have to go to Indiana to get fireworks, and
Where it's legal.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's only like 20 minutes away, so it's not too bad of a drive since we live like on the border of Ohio and Indiana. So we drove over there a couple weeks ago and got a whole bunch of fireworks, and yeah, we did it big. We got some of those the big mortar shells and things like that, and they were loud. Kids had their earmuffs going on, and yeah, it was a good time. We had
Do you remember what they were called? I always love firework names.
just anything that Joe Dirt says. That's what we got.
Whisker do's,
okay.
whisker don'ts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The King Cone was one of them. We had a fountain that lasted a minute and a half, and it was like a cotton. It was like a big, huge, like looked like a sucker full of cotton candy. I don't know. It was legit looking. But we had that. We had one was a high voltage. That was our finale, and it was like 8 or 10 mortar shells that would just go off on a timer. So that was pretty cool. But
Did you buy that on purpose?
Yes.
Because of your wrestling nickname?
I saw it and I was like, I have to get it. 100%.
Yeah, of
And
course.
and right next to it was prom night. So we got prom night, which was almost about the same thing as high voltage, but those were the more expensive ones. We had a good time. We didn't grill out because it was like 90 degrees and 100% humidity over the weekend. So
bad.
so gross.
Sweaty time.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Stay inside time.
Yeah, it was a lot of pool time. Just
Yeah.
getting a little bit of
Don't doubt
sun. Yeah. But yeah, that's what we did pretty much all weekend is pretty much hang inside because it was just disgusting outside.
Did Mark and Ronnie, did you guys do about the same thing? I'm guessing Mark did. He has that look on his face like, man, July 4th in the air conditioning, baby.
Yeah, man, I did less than Patrick did. Dude, I pretty much okay. So I will say I kind of celebrated the 4th, but not in your typical way that you would, I guess. There was no cookout. There was no fireworks, although we heard plenty of them outside. Thankfully, Cisco doesn't get too scared by them. I mean, he was a little, like, freaked out, but, like, he wasn't, like, completely scared, like, hiding under the couch or something like that. Kind of freaked out. And we just kind of cuddled him for a little while.
Yeah.
Chilling out.
There you go.
He's like, it's all good.
Get one of those little kangaroo pouches that you can just put the kids right in front of you on your chest and just let them lay against you.
And he would fit in that.
He would.
Totally
He'd be
would.
perfect size.
But
please do that and send us a picture.
I will. No, we celebrated in a different way. So, as you may or may not have heard, on Friday, on Disney Plus, they actually put up the recording of the musical Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, about that.
And so, which was like, it's been this huge hit for several years now. It basically solidified Lin-Manuel Miranda as a kind of a household name in the Broadway scene and starting into movies as well. But which is crazy because he wrote the script, he wrote the music, he wrote the lyrics, and he starred in the play. He did that almost, not the whole thing, but like he laid the groundwork himself. And which is just insane to me. And I had heard a lot about Hamilton. I have plenty of friends who are big into theater and absolutely love Hamilton, have seen it live and all that kind of stuff. And so when I heard they were putting it on Disney Plus, I was like, oh, finally, I get to see this. And so I watched it Saturday night, obviously 4th of July. And that show's incredible.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. Now, I totally get Patrick and I were talking about it. And he's like, man, there's so many words. I'm like, yeah, that's true.
It's. I was telling him it felt like I was watching an Eminem rap battle for 40 straight minutes, and it was exhausting. Like I'm not a big theater Broadway kind of guy, but I mean, I only have like a select few that I'll watch, like the Newsies, like I told Mark. I really like that one, but this was just a lot. And Mark said that, you can turn on subtitles, but I don't think I could read that fast. I'm not Johnny 5.
Need input.
Well, apparently I'm Johnny 5 because I could read it.
Johnny 5 is alive.
No, it's a symbol. But yeah, I very much enjoyed it. Yeah, like I feel like if they had done that play in any other style other than hip hop, it would have lasted like half a day. So the only way that it was going to work is if you could put it in hip hop style where you can rap fast, because they put a lot of information in each of those songs, and they were actually, I was watching a video where they were kind of calculating, and there was this one part where one of the actresses, she like sings like 200 words in the span of like a minute or something like that. Or some crazy number like that. They're all rapping so fast. But I think they did a great job telling a story that you don't hear so often. He's kind of one of the more obscure founding fathers. And they really told the story of who he was in a very modern setting.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting to see how, like, they were showing like the first cabinet meetings that they had, and like they would set it up where they were like discussing important things, but they would set it up as a rap battle. Or there's like one point where it's Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson, and so Jefferson gets to say his piece and he does this rap, and then Hamilton gets to do a response, and it's set up like a rap battle. And it was an interesting way to make something that would be particularly boring, make it interesting. And I think the cast overall is phenomenal. But yeah, I watched it all the way through, and then Kristen actually came downstairs and saw me watching it in the second half, and we ended up watching the first half again because she's like, I want to see this. So but yeah, that was basically our way of celebrating the 4th was getting to know one of our founding fathers in a modern way, I suppose. But
Nice.
yeah,
Cool.
I absolutely love the show.
Cool.
Very nice. Ronnie, how did you celebrate the old July 4th?
I went over to my mother's house and I hung out with Bear in the pool all day.
There you go.
Pretty much.
Nice.
Nice.
So I found out, obviously, he's a lab, so he loves water. When I first got there, he's basically biting my ankles like he always does because he's a nightmare. But as soon as I got there, like he's biting on me and stuff, wanting to play already, and I just kind of picked him up and threw him into the pool because, well, that's just what you do. And
Of course.
he didn't like me for like the next 10 or 15 minutes. He wasn't about that. Like, it was a bad start. It was a bad start.
Like,
to
I don't
the
like
day.
that guy. He's mean.
But anyways, what he likes to do is he likes to get on this one like float. It's a raft. It's like one of those like foam like floats you can like lay on, That's his float. Like if you bring it to the edge, he'll like get down onto the float and he just floats around in the pool, like with his frisbee or something like that. It's actually it's hilarious. But no, we just we went over to my mom's. It was kind of a small gathering, which was nice, and we just kind of hung out in the pool for hours. And you're getting old where you leave like the 4th of July party, it's like 7:30 and you're like, yeah, it's about time to wrap it up.
It's getting late.
Like we had been in the pool for like 4 hours, like just out in the sun, and it's like, yeah, we're out of here. Like we're not staying for the fireworks. So we ended up coming back to the house. Me and my buddy did actually walk out. There was a lot of fireworks in my like neighborhood. A few houses down, they did a pretty good show. And then there's like some type of, I don't know if it's some type of club or something. I don't think it's like a hunting club, but something, along those lines. And they had a really, really good firework display. They had a big like finale and everything. And everybody listening in Cincinnati knows who like Rozzi's is. But outside of Cincinnati, nobody really knows who that is. Basically, they are a company, Rozzi's Fireworks, who like goes and puts on like big firework displays all over the place.
Yeah.
And one of the most common things they do that is that every Friday night at the Reds Stadium is firework night.
Mm-hmm.
They always put on a show every single Friday night for the Reds. So I found out a while ago that we are kind of spoiled when it comes to fireworks in Cincinnati and fireworks shows. Like we were down in Florida one time for this huge fireworks show, and it kind of sucked. Like I was like, well, this isn't really that good. And I realized that we're just like spoiled. Like there's some ridiculous fireworks shows around like the Cincinnati area, and it's because of them. There's a radio station locally. It's called WEBN. They do a huge fireworks show in downtown Cincinnati every single year. And they like sync it up to the music and everything. Like it's this real big ordeal. So yeah, we're a little spoiled like when it comes to fireworks. And I didn't realize that until a little bit later in life. But like Patrick, I'm sure you've seen like a Rozzi show. Like they're ridiculous, man.
It's good. I mean, if you've ever gone to the WBN fireworks, it is a 45-minute fireworks show that they don't not only do they do like the big mortars and big ones like that, but it's over the river, so they throw fireworks on the bridges too, and the fireworks just fall into the water, and it is done really, really well. And like Ronnie said, it's done to music. So every song that's on there, they have fireworks to go with that song.
Yeah, WEBN is basically like a rock/classic rock station. So it's always like, a bunch of classic rock. Like one of the really cool things when I was down there the last time that they did was they do a there's one particular thing. There's a bunch of bridges in Cincinnati. Basically, the Ohio River is right there, and across that, they will basically have a waterfall like all the way across like a bridge. So it's like this gigantic cascading waterfall. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, it's always a spectacle. But we did have some pretty good ones actually around us this year. So I'm not really one to. I don't know. It's hard to spend a lot of money on fireworks, in my opinion. Like, you're spending like a bunch of money for 1 to 2 minutes. You know what I mean? I don't know. It depends.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I'll feel differently like when I'm putting on a firework display for kids or something, you know?
Yeah,
but like for now, it's like, nah, nope.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you're good.
I was the same with you. Like, I was never into buying fireworks, but now that I have kids and they want to see fireworks, I feel like it's part of my job. I feel obligated that I need to put on that show for them.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
Kids are. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no.
No, you go ahead.
Before I go, you go.
Oh, it returns. No, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, they actually we typically have like 2 fireworks shows in Lynchburg. One of them is put on one of the big churches in the area. They're the ones that kind of are together with Liberty, the university around here that I went to. The church does a big 4th of July event every year they call Celebrate America. And, they'll have food vendors and things for the kids, like rides and stuff like that, and concerts going on and all that kind of stuff. And then they have, at the end of the night, a huge fireworks spectacle. Well, with the whole COVID thing going on, they kind of decided to cancel that. So there was no Celebrate America. So the only other one was, we have a local baseball team called the Hillcats, the Lynchburg Hillcats, and they had one of their baseball games or whatever, and then immediately following that was a fireworks show.
Is that like a major league team, like affiliate or something?
I can't remember who their minor leagues. I can't remember who they're affiliated with.
I think they're affiliated with the Boston Valley Cats.
Yeah. But
that's real.
But yeah, so that was pretty much the only fireworks show in the area. Everything else was canceled, or it was all people in their backyards, basically.
Yeah, I was just going to say earlier, Ronnie, you mentioned how since you don't have kids, your incentive to really invest in fireworks and do it is not really there. And like Patrick was saying, it's kind of your job as a parent to, make things fun and exciting. But I actually think that it's the kids are the reason that for us we want to do it in terms of their excitement level. Like, they just make it that much better. Just like in talking about earlier this year when we finally let the kids stay up for New Year's, like just their joy and just watching outside, watching fireworks, my son actually surviving the fireworks and not, wanting to climb a tree or hide under his bed or something like that. It's just, every holiday it just reminds you of being a kid again. So, that's probably really fun and awesome. I mean, when we were in the U.S. Last year during this time, a year ago, we definitely partook in the July 4th activities. This year we did not. We were in Brazil. Nobody around us is celebrating. And with the whole COVID-19
Brazil's
thing
not
and everything
celebrating
else,
our holiday?
Nope, they're not celebrating the U.S.'s independence. But here in about 2 months, they will celebrate their own independence. So we'll maybe celebrate with them then. But we were celebrating from afar. We were keeping an eye on all our friends and seeing all the festivities. And
yeah, there is something to be said. So and it reminds me of the movie The Sandlot when all the fireworks are going off. Yep. But it is, I mean, it's really cool. Like, you walk out of your house and basically in every direction you look, there's fireworks every direction. You know what I mean? Like, it is a really cool moment. So I can understand that.
Apparently, in my neck of the woods, we're keeping it going because they're doing it outside.
Oh, are
my
they?
house right
Are
now.
they?
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is
They
in Sao
didn't light them
Paulo,
off all on over the weekend. They're like, oh, we got to get rid of these.
we didn't use them all up. Frank, where'd these come from?
'em up.
Just set them off. Yeah,
Doesn't matter. 2 a.m. Set them off.
In Sao Paulo, literally every other day, someone sets off fireworks for no reason whatsoever, or because some team lost or won. It doesn't really matter. People just set off fireworks all the time. So between that and then Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, fireworks are going off all year round here. It's July 4th all the time here. So since Brazil does not celebrate 4th of July, we cleaned the house, and it was not very exciting. So I won't
freedom
say
ring.
any more about that. Pretty much my wife killed herself. Let freedom reign in the form of a squeegee on the ground, cleaning the floor. It was good times. But man, I had told you guys the week before that my back went out. Well, this last week, Mindy got sick and a rib went out for her. And then we cleaned the house on Saturday. And you know, Ronnie, when you started playing volleyball again, I got to watch Mindy kind of start doing something that I imagined was what you were going through, where she would just like, she kind of just waddled across the living room, just like wincing, like with every step because she was in pain. It was really heartbreaking and sad. But she's a trooper, and she's toughening up and getting through the pain. But we got lots of family time this weekend. My wife's schedule for the kids, the winter schedule, is still on and popping, and thankfully she has scheduled in a couple times a week Disney movies, of course, to watch. And this week we watched an original and a reboot or remake or whatever you want to call it, a reimagining of the original in Escape to Witch Mountain, or the more modern version, Race to Witch Mountain.
Yes.
With The Rock.
Yes.
With The Rock, baby. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Let me tell you, no comparison between the two. The first one, Escape to Witch Mountain with the original cast, a snooze fest. I was dozing off within 10, 15 minutes of watching it.
I remember that movie.
Do you?
Yeah. And how cheesy it
Oh,
was.
it's
'cause it was
so
made in, like,
cheesy. Yeah.
Was it like the 60s or something like that?
It was the mid-70s, but it might as well have been the
Okay.
60s. It was that exciting. It was like, oh, it was so cheesy. And then, so these kids are, in an orphanage, and the brother has powers where he can, like, control objects, and then the sister can, like, read minds and talk to her brother through her mind and telepathy and all that jazz. And eventually, at some point, they run away from a guy who has captured them, and they just get in a Winnebago with this old man. And it's like, this is a weird just combination, just getting in this Winnebago, driving to Witch Mountain. And they get to Witch Mountain, spoilers, and it's another old man who is an actual alien, but he's still just an old man. Like, he says he's an alien, but you never see anything. Like, he's just like, I'm an alien with you. Let's get out of here. And they get in their flying saucer, and fly off. Well, then 2 days later, we were.
Is the flying saucer also a Winnebago?
It that would have been awesome if it had been. Yeah, that would have been amazing. But it was not a Winnebago.
Oh.
But the reboot with the Dwayne The Rock Johnson, one, let me tell you, he has gotten pumped up over the past.
Oh my
10
gosh,
years.
he has.
No, he is
Because
juiced.
he is
Speaking
juiced to the
of-
max.
Speaking
To the
of
max.
The Rock, we had turned on game. I think it's the Game Plan, something like that. It's
yeah.
with The Rock, and
Yep.
he's like a quarterback for some, I guess, a Major League football team or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's with that hits of him in it was like 2000 mid 2000s maybe.
Yeah.
He has no tattoos, and
Nope.
he looks
Has
compared
hair.
to what he looks today. He was skinny.
He looked like a little kid. This is 2009 for Race to Witch Mountain, and I thought he was like fresh out of college. Like he looked so small, and it was so weird to see him like that. But he was really good. The whole story was a lot better. Of course, the special effects and everything. They really juiced. They not only talking about The Rock now being juiced up. They really like quote unquote juiced up or made the alien kids a lot more powerful. And like at one point, the boy, they're both teenagers, the alien brother and sister. He stands in front of a car, and he like stops, and the car like smashes in front of it. It was like a Transformers moment, when like Optimus Prime stands in front of a car, and it just smashes to bits. And my son is just like, "Whoa!"
I think that would
awesome.
I think that would actually happen if The Rock stood in front of a car now.
Well, yeah, nowadays, if The Rock did that,
Made out
yeah.
of
But back
steel.
then, no, he would have gotten hurt for sure. He was so scrawny compared
Most
to
of the time, you don't see people get more buff when they leave wrestling.
No.
but
But he
is
did.
jacked.
He is ginormous now. But the reboot was really fun, really funny. It was action-packed. It did have an alien bounty hunter, which was definitely not in the original. And at some point during the fight between, of course, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, even though the aliens have powers and could fight this alien bounty hunter, of course, Dwayne Johnson has to fight him. And at some point, he knocks his mask off of him, and the alien turns around, and James starts to freak out. And I just like try to lighten the mood real quick, because just James gets freaked out really easy by stuff. And I'm like, look at that booger head. Natasha started laughing, and then James is kind of like, haha, yeah, he's a booger head, and just was really scared. So we just tried to make light of the moment and move on. It worked out in the end. And the next day he was like, Daddy, I didn't have a dream about the booger head, so we're good to go. And I'm like, I'm glad, buddy. I'm glad you didn't have a dream about it. Thank God you didn't dream about booger heads, because I would have felt real bad if I would have made it worse. Like, he's like, I got attacked by boogers last night in my dream. Sorry, son. Yeah.
And he never blew his nose again.
Exactly. In other family news, the Minecraft addiction continues. And let me tell you, I have yet another story. This is not going to be a long one like I've done in the past, but it is still nonetheless pretty funny. So my kids are still exploring while I build the house. They occasionally pop in and say, hey, Dad, can I help? Yes, you can help. Hold on, let me go find something over here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to what I'm doing. And so I'm not getting the Mahomes salary doing all the labor either. It's kind of getting shortchanged here. But at some point, James is exploring, and he finds a trap door. And he's like, what's this trap door for? And Tasha's like, I put it there. He's like, okay. So he goes over top of it, and he opens it while standing on top of it.
Hey, James, trap door.
Exactly.
Trap door.
All of a sudden, James is like, no! His character falls into an almost endless shaft. He dies. And he loses all his stuff. And yeah. And so
I told you it was a trap door.
It's a trap door, James. So he's crying, and I'm like, okay, James, calm down. I'm going to come help you. I go over to help him. And what I start to do is I start to mine next to it, so I can go down the shaft using the terrain, because you can just hit one block at a time and it'll take you down like a slow elevator. Well, I'm like 4 blocks down, and James jumps on top of me, and he knocks me off and kills me. And then I'm like, James, you just killed me. And he's like, I'm sorry. I just want my stuff back. And he tries to get it. He dies again. And I'm like, James, give me the controller. And so he gives me the controller. I put his character in the corner and just don't move. Stay there until I tell you. And so I arrange everything so he can go down and get his stuff. I get down there. His stuff is gone. And I'm like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
And so he just freaks out some more. Eventually, we calm him down, because Tasha has discovered how to get into the nether realm, or the nether. She gets a nether portal, so she can go into the. Is it called nether realm? I feel like that's
The
Mortal
nether,
Kombat.
I think.
Or it's just called the nether.
I think so.
So anyways, Tasha goes into the nether, and she starts mining for precious metals, because that's like one of the things you can get there. And she starts mining at her feet.
Oh, gosh. No.
2 seconds later, I hear Tasha go, no! And I see her character go down into the lava and die. and she loses everything that she's been working for. She returns again, and she actually makes a bridge. She makes it to other areas, collects a bunch of stuff again, but then gets lost and has to kill herself.
Tasha.
She's like, Dad, maps won't work here. And I'm like, well, Arctic Warlocks told us to get a map, and you still have not gotten a map since he told us that. And she just left after the second death and vowed never to go again into the Nether. James, on the other hand, he entered into the portal, and he looked around. You know that gif of mine that I like where that baby enters the room and immediately it's like, nope, and turns around? That was James. That was James. As soon as he got in the Nether, he looked around and he's like, I'm not staying here. This is scary. And so he leaves.
Good call, James.
Yeah, he's a smart kid sometimes. What's this trap door?
It's like Grandpa Simpson coming in, taking his hat off, and then just putting his hat back right on and then leaving.
Yeah, yep. He's already an old man in a 7-year-old's body. But he pretty much turns around and he goes and he builds his own house. He grabs half of our stuff, hoards it, and now he's a hermit. Like, he doesn't even come onto the property. Now, I know beside myself, Natasha, and James, we're not the only ones who are Minecrafting. I hear there are 2 other guys who ironically are doing their own Minecrafting in dungeons.
Yeah.
Patrick and Ronnie.
Uh-huh.
You are still playing Minecraft Dungeons.
Well, Clark and I are.
Yeah.
We are still on the Apocalypse level, which is the highest difficulty in the game. To get to be able to beat the final boss, you need to be at least I think it's like level 91, and right now we are level 88. So
Okay.
what we're doing is we're going to other levels and farming and pretty much just trying to
There you
level
go.
up.
Teaching your son how to grind. Nice.
Yeah,
that's an important trait for a gamer.
Well,
Teaching him the grind.
Well, it's
Yep.
we're not playing the same levels over and over again. Some of the levels you can obtain some sort of artifact or some sort of a scroll that opens up another secret level, and that the secret levels is where you get a lot of gear. We had just finished one tonight, and normally the normal levels there's maybe 3-5 chests to open, and in those chests we'll have different gear, whether that's your armor or a new bow or a new weapon. But the one that we just did tonight had 22 chests, so it was about an hour-long level. And so we had so much gear, and we were just leveling up, and we were getting epic bows, epic armor, and
Nice.
able to it was awesome. So I think we're at level maybe 90, 91 at this point. But I was talking to Ronnie earlier that the end boss is really, really tough. And we need to be I think we're going to need to be a little bit higher than level 91 to be able to beat this guy on the hardest difficulty. So I would say probably by this time next week, we'll be able to, we'll say that we've beaten it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
I happen to be stuck at the final boss on Adventure, which is the second difficulty.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So currently I am farming. Basically just trying to get some extra equipment. There was like 2 or 3 nights ago, I think, where I just flat out deleted my weapon that I was using. I was like,
Oh no,
Clark.
pull a Clark.
you know when you
Clarked
get
it.
like a bunch of stuff in your inventory and you're just going through just like selling all of it. Like,
Yep.
I sold, apparently it somehow jumped over to my actual equipped item and sold that, and then I sold something else right after. and I was like,
No.
dang
Dang.
it. So then I couldn't get it back. But I mean, like, here's the thing, like in that game, like the equipment that you have, the armor and the weapons and stuff, it's all basically just rental gear until you get something better.
You can replace it real
Because
quick.
you're constantly getting better stuff. So, it really wasn't like that big of a deal.
So was it like your
But,
pants, and you just went out there without any pants on? Was
So-
like, come here,
so
monsters! I need some pants.
So it's Minecraft. So they actually, like, they simplify it a lot. Like it's a simple yet like intricate game, I guess, if that's the best way to describe it. So there's a lot of enchantments and stuff you can put like on your armor, your weapon, and your bow. But those are the only 3 things: your armor, your weapon, and your bow that go on your guy. Then you can have like 3 abilities, which might be like, summon a pet wolf or heal yourself or something like that. So it's pretty simple from that like standpoint. Like I've already gotten like another weapon that was like pretty much just as good. But no, that end boss like on the main island is like
no joke.
He's rough, man. Yeah, he is no joke. This guy like, so it basically what the level does is it kind of traps you in a not a small area with this guy, but like it traps you in an area with this guy, and he does this thing where he like shoots out these kind of like laser beams, and then he spins around like in a circle, and if one of these hits you, like it kills you. Like that's how powerful he is. Like you can't like withstand like one of them. So yeah, it's rough. Like we used it like the way we got through it in the normal mode was using like a series of like shields. So when we would like shield up, he would use his lasers, and we'd just be shooting him the whole time. But now it's like it's hard to get to him. Like what do you get, 3 lives per level?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's hard to get to him with all 3 lives.
Oh, yes.
Because there's all those big golem guys, like, and they're rough. So they make you work for it, that's for sure. I fully think it depends on like who you're playing with. Most of the time it's either Elizabeth and I playing or my buddy Justin and I playing together. I think if we all 3 played together, it probably wouldn't be that bad.
I think it would be absolute chaos if you had 3 people.
It is chaos with 3 people. It's you know what the worst part about having 3 people is me like most of the time my buddy Justin plays the tank role, which I'm sure Clark probably plays.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh yeah.
What is that? What is that armor? Is that 35% damage reduction? Yeah, get that, Clark. Get that one.
Yeah, you want
35% chance to negate hits? Yes, you want that one.
Yep, you want
keep it. Put it all on you. How many layers do you have?
And my buddy Justin plays the tank for the same reason that Clark plays the tank. It's because it doesn't really require that much skill. You just go in there swinging and just do your thing.
Mash the button.
He seems to like he thinks that the tank role is, and like, he's like, oh no, it takes skill to do this. It doesn't. It doesn't take any skill. Everybody can be the tank. But I like always try to sit back a little bit and like revive if I need to or whatever. But no, it is healing it's rough action. With 2 people. With 3 people, the worst part is I never can get any arrows ever.
Oh, he steals them all.
Because whoever the tank is, like they're just smashing that A button, right, to just attack. And also, that's a pickup.
Oh,
like when there's an item there. So
it's true.
The tank just rolls through and picks basically everything up. It's hard to like, unless you get one of those little supply crates, like you can't get any arrows.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Actually, I just played today with my buddy Chad. I played the first time online with him, actually. It was kind of cool.
Nice.
So when you go online, by the way, in Minecraft Dungeons, you have to sign on with your Microsoft account.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Which I did not know until I got into it. Yeah. You invite them through their Microsoft account. So he's inviting me under my Microsoft profile, not my Switch.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was a little bit different, but it was really fun.
Cool.
But yeah, it's that game is. I'll tell you what, it really is a fun game. I can't imagine playing with 4 players. I really want to do that, but it would be utter chaos with 4 players.
Okay, so
it would be so ridiculous.
In Apocalypse, you get a new artifact. You can summon wolves, you can summon llamas, and in Apocalypse, there's another artifact that you can unlock, and it's the Iron Golem. So you were talking about the golems are one of the hardest.
Squidward on steroids.
You can summon one of those.
You can summon one. Okay, so Clark has one, and I have 2. So there's 5 of us just
Lay 'em out.
It's insane. Clark is yelling, "I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Where am I?"
Nice. He's just spinning on his knees, just like, I'm just gonna do this
one of the-
until.
And he's over there in the corner just hitting nothing. And I'm like, "You're in the corner, buddy." I was like, he's like, "Oh, that's where I am."
I
It
thought
is
that
hard
was
to find
me.
yourself sometimes in those big fights.
Yeah.
I found like my favorite thing to use now is that I think it's called like a love medallion, maybe.
Oh, that's yes.
Basically, you run in and you can like turn up to like 3 enemy characters into your allies, and then
Yeah.
they fight for you
That's
for
a
like
nice
10 seconds.
feature.
So
Do you know what's so easy?
especially
about
when you're
that?
playing.
Is you equipped 2 in your inventory, and your your other teammate also equips 2. You never have to fight anyone.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Like
You
that,
need that for
like
on the
that
last
skill.
level.
Honestly, like when you're playing like single player, like I don't know how often you ever play single player, but like
No.
you need that. Like in single player, like it's
They're coming at
single
you.
player is way different. You just can't like run in single player. Like you're drawing them all out all the time. Like it's
Rolling
it's a
away.
grind in
Yeah.
single player. Yeah,
It's a fun
but
game.
it is a really fun game. It's actually kind of halted me on Ark for the time being. So I have the final boss left on Ark. That's all on the main map, and
Yeah. All right, man.
haven't got to it.
You'll get there. You'll get there. We believe in you. You and Bangleman. Eric, help
Yep.
drag Ronnie through to the end. Just like I drug Patrick through to the end of Dead Nation. You can do it, Eric. If I can do it, you can do
You
it.
didn't drag me. I died, and you did it yourself.
That's true. Okay, fine. I drug your spirit. I left your body there, though. It was dead weight.
Dang.
Love you, Patrick.
It's true.
So, Mark, I have a feeling that Minecraft has not been involved in your life as of late, unlike us. So,
Let me think about it. No.
when is
No, it
when
has
is
not.
Minecraft and Apex gonna combine forces? That would be sweet, right? Apex.
Hopefully never. I really hope it never does that.
Here's hoping.
Because that just sounds disgusting to me. But ugh. Things that make you go bleh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, it really hasn't been much in terms of gaming for me, other than, of course, Apex Legends.
Yeah.
This is
Uh,
the Apex.
ever since I beat The Last of Us 2, I've just gone right back into Apex. I am anxiously awaiting Ghost of Tsushima to come out.
Yeah.
Because I'm ready.
Really?
I'm ready to play that.
You're gonna be day one in that one.
Yeah.
Are you gamefly in that, or
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to gamefly it or actually just outright buy it.
okay?
I'm trying to see the gameplay. I'm hoping I like it, but I'm interested in playing it, especially since there's really not much else new coming out, because everything's been delayed. So, but yeah, it's mainly been just Apex for me. Playing with Patrick and Justin. Yeah. So
Okay.
same old on that front.
Gotcha. On my gaming front, besides gaming a little Minecraft with the kids, I've been kind of running a trifecta. Every morning, wake up early. I get in The Last of Us Part 2 before the kids wakey. I'm still plugging along. To let you guys know where I am without giving away any spoilers, I'm going to use a reference to The Lion King. Do you guys remember when Simba has been exiled and Scar has captured the bird and the bird is singing to him?
Yes.
Yes, I remember that.
That's where I am. Okay, so that's it. But I'm still plugging along. I'm taking it nice and slow. It's something that it stresses me out a lot, but I really appreciate the storytelling. I really appreciate the challenge to perspective that it tries to do and successfully does for the story and the characters. That's a very common theme and something we'll definitely talk about when we do our spoiler cast. While I've been playing that, I've actually been listening to the official Last of Us podcast. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to that.
I have not yet.
I've seen it, haven't listened to it.
Yeah, it's up there. I haven't listened to it yet though.
Wow. It is very well produced. It is like, so far I've listened to 3 or 4 episodes, covered like the main original game. Eventually, like they're getting close to releasing episodes that involve Last of Us Part 2, but the way they've like retold the story and given the there's Grounded, like we've talked about, where it gives like the behind the scenes development of Last of Us. This gives like the behind the scenes of the story and the whole thought process of the actors, the writers, the gameplay designers, and they weave all the interviews together to tell a story, like a story of the story, and it's really good. Like, it's enthralling. As we talked about in the spoiler cast, we've played this game multiple times. I've played it like 2 times, and I'm going to work on my 3rd even after listening to this, and it is really good. So if anybody out there has played The Last of Us, wants to hear a quality spoiler cast, do the official Last of Us podcast. It is fantastic. The other 2 games I've been playing a little bit here and there is XCOM 2, of course. Things are, thankfully I'm playing it on easy, but I will say that I've been sending Ronnie to the hospital on just about every mission. I just kind of throw you out there, Ronnie. And your sword works most of the time, but the last mission, your sword did not work one time. And you didn't get killed, but you got gravely wounded, and you were like in the hospital for 2 weeks. And then, so Zach Ald is your replacement. He's the second string. Between he and Mark,
Right.
For whatever reason, I set their voices to French. I have no idea what they're saying. Yeah. So I'll send Mark and French it up. I'll send Mark and Zach off to do something, or they'll kill an alien and it'll be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't know what you said, but I'm guessing that's good. No.
As we do.
Yeah, it happens. But the character that I can understand is Infinity Bro Isaac. And for whatever reason, his character does not trust me whatsoever. Like when I send Patrick out, he gets his Australian voice going and he's like, it's about time, let's go. And he just goes out there. When I send Isaac out, he's like, well, if that's what you want, I guess. Like, he's just like really like, I'm not sure about this. And so he'll do stuff and he'll just be like, I guess that was good. Like he'll kill an alien and he's like, well, I guess that did it. It's just like, why are you such a negative Nancy? I mean, real life Isaac is way more positive and confident. It's kind of weird, but it's funny. Besides that, also playing Dead Cells, of course. Rafa in Portugal, he is now streaming Dead Cells, and he is working on 1BC. Someone else has been playing Dead Cells. That old Patrick Novosel. I don't know if you were going to share it at all, because it was just kind of like, I played for a couple hours. The end. But it still warmed my heart.
Got a few achievements, and then I died, and then I realized I had to go back to the beginning. I was like, nope, I'm done with this.
Oh no!
Nope. Give me back to my checkpoint.
Don't like that.
So that's what did it in for you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going through all this again. I started playing. I was like, wait a second, this is the beginning.
I've been here.
Yep, and that's about it.
You never technically die, but you do start over. But you can take different paths, Patrick. There's lots of places you can go.
Yeah. Well, if I died in The Last of Us 2 and I had to go back to the beginning, I would not play that game either.
Oh, okay. Yep. It's that serious. You're all about the checkpoint.
Yeah,
all about
that's a
them
roguelike,
checkpoints,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that what that is?
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Well, that's fine. I'm glad you gave it the old college try. So I'm proud of you for that.
I tried.
Proud of you.
It was my second time, and
yeah,
still didn't like it.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
With Dead Cells, I also got back into the Bad Seed DLC, which is just like a little pack that gives you some extra areas to go to. I'm actually playing on the UK version, and I discovered that I could not myself, with the different accesses I have to the UK PSN store, I could not buy the DLC. And so I wanted to give a quick shout out to Stupidly Epic, or Prime as he's called on our Discord, for helping me out to get that UK version. He was a lifesaver, and he helped me out with that. So thank you, Stupidly Epic. Thank you, Prime, and welcome to the GMG community and being a part of the Discord. It's great to have you, man.
Nice.
So
Welcome.
yeah. The last thing I had was that I went shopping this week, and the wife unfortunately sent me grocery shopping. It took me 2.5 hours, I think, to do it, but it might have been because I took a side trip to another store and I bought a video game.
Lucas, I'm gonna need you to go to the grocery store. I'm gonna go to the grocery store. All right.
Well, here's what happened. I was looking for a computer.
Did you remember
chair.
your parking ticket?
Oh, yes. This time I remembered the parking ticket. I did not lose it. I definitely had PTSD and had hot flashes for 1 second thinking I had lost it, but I found it. So I went to this other store, and because I was looking for a computer chair. I couldn't find it at the place I went, the grocery store where I go. They have a bunch of stuff. It's like a Sam's Club place or Costco or whatever you go to. And they didn't have the right chairs. So I went to another place that happened to have video games, and I came across, the PS4 section, and I saw a really good price for a game, a little-known game by the name of Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Nice.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And it got me to thinking.
Did you ever play that?
So I've never played Lost Legacy.
Okay.
I've played Uncharted 1 through 4, and I played. Actually, that's it. I played Uncharted 1 through 3 on PS3, Uncharted 4 on PS4. I haven't yet played the collection. And
Have you played Golden Abyss on Vita?
Nope, I have it, but I haven't played it yet. So,
Oh, okay.
so I now, because I bought Lost Legacy, I have a game plan to go back and play the whole Uncharted series. Because after all, not only in buying that Lost Legacy game was I inspired to go back, but these games have been on my backlog for a long time. And since that's the topic of our show, it's only appropriate that we jump right in to the topic of the show. The gaming backlog. That smooth or what? That was like
Can you guys hear that?
I could have gotten to a cycle there, just echoing over and over again. All right, guys, we are talking about the gaming backlog. Some of us have it, some of us don't. Some of us are probably a little ashamed of how big the backlog is, but that is what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Okay, let's do it.
Are you ready? Video games are a serious hobby. Nope, you're not? Okay, we'll wait till Mark's ready. You let me know.
What time is it?
All right.
Game time. Who? Yes.
It's 10:04.
So,
Jeez.
oh, fair enough. Yep, you're right. No, it's 11:04. All right, so the backlog is something that I think people of all shapes and sizes understand when they think about it, maybe. I don't think it's exclusive to video games. It happens in movies, books, TV. It can be a backlog of life, a to-do list. It's pretty much like you just have all these intentions and they pile up. And all of us play video games, and all of us kind of have this in common, that there are games we want to play. And if there are a lot of games we want to play, we form a backlog. So let's talk about where we stand with backlogs. Is it something that's a real thing in our life? Is it non-existent? I already know the answers to these questions, but I'm pretending like I don't for the sake of discussion.
That's a good host.
Yeah. Just don't want to
For
give...
the sake of discussion.
I'm going to play dumb for just a moment. So, because I know where some of you stand, I'm going to start with Mark. Where do you stand with the backlog? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you have it?
Sort of. Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Do you like it?
That's the answer I was looking for. Sort of.
Please expand.
Yes.
So, as we've talked about on the show before, like sometimes I will start games and then lose interest after a while, and go off to something else. Usually being Apex. Or I had games that I started, and then Apex came out. I do have some games that I've been meaning to play, and just haven't gotten them yet, or have had opportunity to get them and didn't, and wish I did. I'm looking at you, Uncharted.
Wait,
so
I forget. You've never played that?
I played the first one. I
Oh,
have not
right.
played 2, 3, or 4.
Oh, man.
And what makes me mad about
man.
that is the entire Nathan Drake collection and Uncharted 4 were free at one point.
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
And I did not get them.
Oh, man.
And it
Always
made me mad.
download.
Always.
Always add to library.
Yep. Always put it
Yeah,
in the
we'll have to
shopping
download.
cart. Yep.
And right now they're both $20 right now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've got several games like that, and they will sit for quite some time,
Yep.
and until such a time as I'm spurred to play them again.
Until Apex goes
And-
offline, the bane of your backlog.
If Apex goes offline, I don't know if Mark will be able to play video games. He won't know what to do with himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
What? There are other video games? What are you talking about?
All right. So you've got
No,
a backlog,
but,
but it's not really much urgency. It's like I want to play these games, but I want to play Apex more.
Yeah, it doesn't keep me up at night. It doesn't burn me inside
Oh man.
that I haven't played
missing
these
out.
games yet. And it's just
Missing out
But,
on
like,
that sleep.
Yeah.
I actually have been
Overrated.
catching up on my backlog this year with a couple of games.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
You did go back. Get that Horizon Zero Dawn. I was proud of you for that.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Like it doesn't
All right.
it doesn't eat me up to have games I haven't finished. Like also Borderlands 3. I'm like 80% of the way through that.
Oh, you didn't finish
and
that?
I don't remember
didn't.
what stopped me, and I didn't finish that.
Yeah. Well, you know what stopped you. It's Apex. That's like an automatic thing now.
I actually don't think it was that.
No?
I don't remember. Something else came out around that time.
I mean,
that took my
animation-wise,
attention away.
they don't look that different. You could just
No, they
pretend,
really don't.
pretend like you're playing Apex when you're playing Borderlands 3 to finish it.
Always try to be the last one to survive on Borderlands 3.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Ronnie, what's a backlog mean to you?
Well, it's funny you should ask,
It is.
Lucas,
It is funny.
It's hilarious.
because it means absolutely nothing to me.
Yep. I had no idea.
It's not even a real thing in my world.
No. Now, do you have a backlog of anything in life?
I basically just live by pirate code, and that those things
Yeah.
are just guidelines that I can just skip over whenever I want to. I will tell you though, like what happens in video games for me is I get really into a video game for a period of time, pretty much like we all do, right? We all get that addiction, that initial addiction sets into the video game, and you're like, you just can't put it down.
Yeah.
You're thinking about it during your day at work, like it consumes you. And eventually for me, it leaves. And I mean, there have been games in the past where I have gone back to play, but it's not for a lack of me like not beating the game. It's just because I want to go back and play it again. Like some of the games that I will play and I'll get partial like through it, and like I don't have what you guys have that makes me feel like I need to go back and beat it.
Yeah.
I guess. Like a prime example is, I think like maybe 3 months ago, I bought that Luigi's Mansion game
Oh,
for the
yeah.
Switch.
That debacle.
That was $70. I bought it. And I was like, it's gonna be probably pretty good, right? It's gonna be like a Mario game, or whatever.
The vacuum cleaning game.
And it sucks. And it absolutely sucks. It's a horrible game for anybody that's like, unless you're maybe 6 years old, it sucks.
I mean, it is a man
a
with a
horrible
vacuum
game.
cleaner, so it does literally suck. You have a vacuum cleaner.
That's the whole game, is to collect coins, and coins mean nothing. You get nothing for your coins. That's true. There's nothing at the
I wish
end.
people could see your face.
There's
when
nothing
you're
at the
talking about
end.
this game.
There's nothing at the end that you could where you can
Ridiculous.
buy, like, use your coins. Like, no, you just collect coins, and that's the whole game. That's it, with a stupid little vacuum cleaner. So I spent $70 on that game, and I played a couple of levels, and I was like, you know what? That's just a bad buy. I'm never coming back to that ever. Not even that I spent $70 on it. I still don't feel the need that I need to like get my money's worth somehow, because there's no way that I can get $70 worth out of that game of enjoyment.
Right.
Like, I'll sit there for hours unhappy to like try and regain my money, which to me, sometimes you just got to cut your losses, and that's exactly what I did on that game.
Maybe
And,
you
like-
should find a child that, you know, you ask them first, hey, do you like Luigi? Hey, do you like gold coins that are useless? Hey, do you like vacuum cleaners? And if they say yes to all that, you give it to them, and you give someone a joyful day, or, you know.
Hey, do you like
life.
crappy video games?
Yes.
I got something for you.
And you,
And then you charge them $70 for it.
yeah, you make
There
a
you
little, actually charge them 80, make a little
You know
profit off of it.
It was literally on the day that I bought it. I was like, yep, I lost $70. Like, you know what? I've lost more money on bad buys before, but this is the most recent. Like, whatever.
Moving on.
It was awful. It had good reviews and everything. And what a piece of crap.
Hey, let's do a spoiler cast for Luigi's Mansion. Ready?
I'm
Go.
I am
Oh, wait, we
not
already did
playing
it.
Through it
Piece of
so I can
crap.
do a
There you go.
spoiler
The
cast.
end.
Yeah, there's no spoiler. You walk around the vacuum collecting coins for nothing.
Now that no
end.
ghosts
It's the
show up,
worst.
it's Luigi's haunted mansion. Where are the ghosts? Are they there?
There are ghosts all over the place, and you got to like suck them up with your vacuum and like shoot them back out. It's a pointless game. It is. I mean, it is just like that game defeated me. Honestly,
guess
that
so.
game it ruined a whole day for me. And I have no desire to go back, regardless of how much money I spent, because I don't really do the backlog thing.
Maybe
Even now, as I sit like playing Minecraft Dungeons, like I need to beat the final boss in Ark on this map. Like, there are a bunch of other maps, and I know for a fact I'll never get through them.
no.
But I got this final boss. Like, I'm just sitting here, and I told Eric, because we basically, since you have to turn in like trophies in order to like gain entrance into the final boss, like we have one trophy, this one dinosaur, this like sea dinosaur that we need to find like an alpha version of it. It's a rare spawn. Like, we'll be searching forever. And I just told him, yeah, we're just going to spawn that trophy in. Like, we're not looking all over for him. Like, forget that. So, like, literally, when we go back, we're just going to go face him. And honestly, as soon as I face him, I'm probably just going to quit. And I've sunk a ton of time into it.
Yeah.
But for me,
That's that.
like I said a long, long time ago, happiness is the number one thing. Like, I'm not going to play a game that doesn't make me happy. Like, forget that.
Yeah.
I don't do that in regular life, so I'm not about to do that in the video game.
Fair
world.
enough. You should let that Clark borrow Luigi's Mansion. See if.
If I
See
can
if he'll like
transfer
it.
it over, I'll 100%
Nope. He
give it
didn't
up.
like it either.
Oh, he didn't
Yeah,
like
so-
it either.
So we game flight it.
Never
and,
mind.
He was like, "This, I don't know what to do in this game."
You got to admit,
Like,
though, you
she-
played it
he-
then,
he-
didn't you?
He knows what to do, but he's like doesn't wrap his head around how terrible it is. Like Ronnie had mentioned, it's just like you're just going around collecting coins, and he's like,
That's
I
it,
don't.
but-
I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here.
I can
Like,
do that in my
These coins
couch.
have to be for something.
I can just go to my
They're for
sofa.
nothing. You
and
can't
be
ever
like, Look,
upgrade
coins.
anything.
Yeah.
So that's
It
not.
just seemed like, oh man, I don't know. It's like just an exploring game where you're just running around doing nothing.
Yeah, usually when we gamefly games for Clark, we'll have it until he beats it, and then he'll send it back. Luigi's Mansion is the only game that we've sent back that he did not beat.
Wow.
He was
Do
done.
you want to
with
know
it.
what's
Well, there
funny
you
about
go.
that, Pat? Is I actually thought, because my buddy Chad bought it, we bought it on the same day. That's when the quarantine started.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we'll play through this together or whatever online. So he also like got hit with the $70 for no reason.
At least you're
Which
not
does
alone.
make me feel better.
Suffering
which
with
does make me
others.
feel better
Yeah.
that I'm part of a club. but there is like a local multiplayer like version, like to where you can play against, like you can play like 4 local players against each other on like certain like activities and missions. Those also suck. They're horrible.
Gotcha.
They're not even fun. They're not even fun. It's like, yeah, let's go back to Broforce. This is horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's
So to answer your question, Lucas,
uh-huh.
I don't have a backlog, and
All
I
right.
don't understand them.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Patrick, maybe you can help Ronnie understand?
I doubt it.
I'm Ron
See-
Burgundy.
See, for me, I'm like a little bit on the same wavelength as Ronnie, where I'm only gonna play games that are gonna be enjoyable to me. Like I tried Dead Cells. It wasn't really part of my backlog, but I was just like, yeah, I'll try it, and I didn't like it, and then I'm never gonna play it again. So it's like one of those things that it's just not part. Like when games do come out that I do want to play, I play them, and I'll beat them. I'll either beat them over a weekend or I'll platinum over a weekend, and then I'm
Yeah.
done with them. You know, like, and then they sit on my hard drive or they sit in my library, and maybe one day I'll go back to playing those or whatever. But I usually play games when they come out, and then I'm done with them. However, there is one game that I want to go to. It's just it just hasn't brought me in yet, and that's Witcher 3. I want
Yeah.
to play Witcher 3, but
It's
you
the
know,
longest game in the history of mankind, I think.
It's on your list.
Only one that surpasses it is Skyrim.
so
Yeah, that's it.
Mark was talking about Uncharted, and after playing The Last of Us 2, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go back and I'm going to play Uncharted, because I got the Nathan Drake collection on my PS4, so I'm going to go and, you know what, I'm going to play this. I'm going to try to get the platinum on this. So I booted it up, and Justin's like, hey, you want to play some Apex? I just turned Uncharted right back off, and I went to Apex. So I was like, you know, I'll get to the games when I get to them.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not losing any sleep over it. I'm not like, okay, I'm not putting it in a spreadsheet where, okay, in January I'm going to do these 5 games, and then in February I'm going to do these 5 games. No, I don't do that kind of stuff. It's just I'll play it when I want to play it. But the only one that really has, you know, just it's always in the back of my mind is Witcher 3. But I just haven't played it yet, you know? Just one of those games that I would rather play something else than to play Witcher 3. You know, like I started Uncharted. I've already played it. I've played Uncharted before, and I'm just playing it on PS4 for the first time. So, I play old 360 games. You know, like I played, I'm playing Madden. I played Madden with Chris every Friday night. You know, like I put hundreds of hours into that game. Could I be playing another game that is in my backlog? Sure, I sure could. But I would rather play games that I know that I'm going to enjoy, rather than just to waste time for 2 hours, find out that when you die, you go back to the beginning of the game, and then I've lost that time.
I can see why you're saying that, but you really
You'll
haven't.
never get it back.
No, but you know, it's just like I know the games that I like.
Yeah.
And there are a few games in my quote unquote backlog that I will get to. I have actually on my Xbox, I have a you can pin different games apps onto your home screen or whatever, and you can group them all together. I have an apps one, I have a games one, and I do have a backlog one too. And there's only a few games in there, but then again, you know, like I just if I ever have an inkling to play it, maybe when like Witcher the show comes back on, maybe I'll get, you know, that urge to go play that game. But it's just I have other games that I gotta play. You know, like Iron Man VR just came out, and I just got it in the mail today, and I was going to do the Uncharted Platinum run, but now that Iron Man VR is here, I'm going to go and put Uncharted on the back burner and play Iron Man VR. And once that gets done, I'm going to play Ghost of Tsushima. And then Iron Man VR is going to be going back to GameFly. Uncharted is probably going to still be sitting on the shelf. And I'm going to play Ghost of Tsushima. So I would rather play, like I said, games I'm going to enjoy. I know I'm going to enjoy. So it sits there, like it's there, but I don't lose sleep over it.
Right.
Yeah, I my backlog isn't extensive. There are a couple games, like I said, that I haven't finished, and I realized what game came out that stopped me on Borderlands 3. Jedi Fallen Order came out.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll stop you in
so,
your tracks.
That'll do it.
Yep, and so that got put on the back burner, and I just never went back to it. And I honestly, I'm kind of hesitant to go back to it and finish it because Borderlands, I can kind of jump back on the horse and be fine, I guess. But I just won't remember much of anything.
Right.
Because it's been so long since I played it. I won't know where I am, what I'm doing, all that kind of stuff. But other than that, like, yeah, I'm a lot like Pat. Like, games, there have to be games that I know that I like. For sure. Like, if it's not grabbing me in the first, like, 15, 20 minutes, something like that, I don't even bother.
Moving on.
Yeah, I just can't.
And all of a sudden you hear that little voice in your mind that says, Apex.
Apex Layla.
No. Oh, speaking of the Unicorn Princess, it is our third most viewed
Yes, I saw
on
that.
your YouTube channel.
Yep, I saw that the other day. So I've been consistently uploading and kind of trying to, what is that called? Not cater. Trying to, there's a word for it, where you like try to organize stuff and put everything in its spot. Curate, thank you. I've been trying to curate our YouTube channel lately, partly because I've been contributing to it consistently. And I was uploading some Dead Cell streams, some XCOM streams, and I saw the Unicorn Princess at number 2 or 3. And it had like all the highest stats, and I'm like, what is going on? Who is watching this? I think it's amazing. That's how
often we use our YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it was the episode with Justine Huxley and then the Unicorn Princess. I can't remember if there was a...
I think it's the Red Dead Redemption ending was the number 2.
Oh, I think that one's been going down lately. It's getting overrun with Dead Cells.
Princess?
And Unicorn Princesses. And Dead Cells. Yeah. So in the backlog area, I'm definitely, if you were to consider an antithesis to Ronnie, it would be me. And while I most certainly do not lose sleep over it, I do not even stress over it. I will say that when I first got into trophy hunting and getting those little digital trophies back in like 2014, 2015, like when Married to the Games was doing like the trophy hunting wars or the trophy hunting tournaments or whatever we used to call them. I wouldn't lose sleep or stress out about it, but I was like, that was my goal, was to collect trophies. And I definitely went through a season when I was like that. I mean, I've gone through all the seasons, summer, winter, fall, in video games in terms of spring, can't forget spring. It's important. Stuff's got to grow. But like going through all of those different mindsets to where, I was like you guys where I was like, whatever, I'll play what I play. But I found that in both the highs and the lows, in the joy and the suffering, in the pushing through, like getting past that wall of, oh, I don't like this, or I'm terrible at it, or it's not fun, like finding a way to actually see what the designers or the makers of the game, or discovering somehow that there is a nugget of joy that can be found in something, has been kind of just a personal challenge. Like video games is a serious hobby for me. It's my only hobby. I don't do sports anymore. I don't do some of the other stuff you guys talk about. I just don't do it. I hang out with my family. I do ministry, with my church, and play video games. It's my fun side hobby, my way to escape. And I'm pretty organized with it. I have an iPhone Note that holds a list of backlog games, and just for fun today I gave it a little glance, and I wanted to give you a little bit of statistics about my backlog list.
Okay. All right.
Before you say the statistics, I will tell you that you have told us in the past that you get up early to play video games.
Yeah.
So technically, that is losing sleep over them.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I guess you're right in that respect, that I do lose what normal people should sleep. But at the same time, I was forced into that situation by my daughter, and then video games happened to help me cope with my daughter making me get up at 5:30. And then when she went back to normal sleeping, my body did not. And ever since then, the times I do sleep in, kind of like the way you feel after playing Luigi's Mansion, I feel like crap after sleeping in my bed past 7-8 hours of sleep. If I go too long, like my neck hurts, my back hurts, and I'm like, what was the point? I don't feel rested.
7-8 hours
whatsoever.
of sleep. What does that mean?
That's way too much. I'm more of a 5 or 6 hour sleeper, and of course, video games are a part of that. But
Yeah.
it's not the only reason. And I do other things in the morning besides play video games, but it definitely kind of helps regulate my sleeping to a point where I found a happy medium where I'm feeling good. Maybe I'm losing sleep compared to what I used to sleep, but I'm not losing sleep as in like it's killing me or I'm slowly dying or I'm falling asleep at the
I
wheel.
mean, as long as you feel good, 5
Yeah.
or 6 hours is good enough.
Yeah.
And you don't have trouble getting to sleep at night.
Nope. Not at all. I go to sleep.
That's the
When's
That's
the last time you guys have slept for like 10 hours?
Oh no, it was a couple weeks ago. When the fam was out camping, and I woke up on Saturday morning at 10:55.
Wow.
I woke up and I was like, "Oh, it's light out. What time is it?" I roll over 10:55, and I just like grinned ear to ear. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is what college was like.
wow. Yeah, I don't think I've done that since kids at all. Maybe I've gotten 9 hours, 8 or 9. But yeah, 10's a lot. So
Yeah, my back hurt.
So I have 3 criteria for a backlog game. 1, trophy popped. As I mentioned, PlayStation games have trophies. If I pop a trophy for a game, it goes into my backlog to play eventually. I might not have the urge to play it now, but I put it on a list to play eventually because I do not like to leave the trophy percentage or whatever at 1-2%. I need to at least get the trophy for completing it or do my best to do it. I'm not going to platinum every game. That is not my purpose in life. But so one game that goes on the backlog is for if I pop a trophy. And right now I have 75 games on that list.
Wow.
Woo!
Oh my goodness.
So there
What?
I don't know if I've ever
Seriously,
even played
what?
75 games.
What is on there
Okay.
that you haven't played?
So I have 15 games that I've popped at least one trophy for that I want to go back and complete it. 2 of those more recent ones are Fallout 76 and Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts with my kids.
1?
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts, the OG Kingdom Hearts, because I got to the final boss with my kids, as I told you guys many episodes ago, and it just was too hard. We have to grind and level up our character more, and I've just not been interested in doing it. The other one is Fallout 76. Again, I need to grind to get high enough level to be able to complete the final mission, because there's no checkpoints in it. If you die if you leave the game, it'll automatically send you back to the beginning of the mission. Found that out the hard way with Sheldor. Sheldor. So I have about 15 games that I've gotten one or more trophies for, but I've never gotten the completion trophy. Then I have 60 games that I just want to platinum. The Metal Gear Solid series, Jack and Daxter trilogy, the Uncharted trilogy. I've not gotten platinums for any of those except for Metal Gear Solid 5. But I really enjoy those games. Really like, just the stories or those kind of things. And so I do want to go back and get the platinums for those. So there's 75 games there. Now the second criteria is we have trophy popped, and then we have
It's not
money
even
dropped
75 total.
digitally.
1 million.
No. There are 28 unplayed games that I have purchased digitally over the past 7 years of having PlayStation games, like having a PlayStation console. Usually it's when I, get those sales where you buy a game for $1, $2, those kind of things. And they range from anything that's fun to challenging, easy, platinum. But some of them are like Mass Effect 1 through 3 on PS3. I played them on Xbox 360, but I never got the trophies for them on PS3, so PlayStation. So I want to get those someday, play through those. And that then leads me to the third criteria for a backlog game, physical media stocked. And I have 12 games that, again, I've gotten since I got a PS4, like Middle-earth: Shadow of War, Mass Effect Andromeda, which connects to the Mass Effect 1 through 3. And then with the NES and the SNES Classic, I still want to beat most of those games at some point, like Punch-Out!, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. And so in total, when you take all that 3 criteria together, I have 155 games, more or less, that I would like to play through eventually.
That stresses me out just hearing that.
So you have 155 games sitting in your backlog.
Yep.
So what is the thought process that you have to choose your next game?
Okay, so that changes every year. This year, one of the reasons I haven't been able to get through the backlog is I've been trying to play either more current games or games that are more popular, and they've just taken a long time to get through, like Final Fantasy VII. And that's where...
Or Dead Cells.
Yeah. Or my Apex, Dead Cells.
Yeah.
That one is something that, snuck up on me, and I'm just like, man, I don't remember the last time I just really enjoyed a game so much that I haven't popped a trophy in that game in forever, and I don't care. I'd still enjoy playing it. And then, other people in our Discord getting excited about playing it or being interested or whatever has made me even more reminded of how much I just enjoy the game. So I'm just like, well, I'm not going to stop playing this game for a while. But for the most part, what happens is I kind of get this idea where I am going to try to, this year it's been, I want to play the best of the best. So I want to play the games that have been highest rated, like over the course of Metacritic or OpenCritic or whatever. So I'm trying to play like games that are highly rated, Bloodborne, the Uncharted games, Last of Us, games that, that are really highly rated and I want to play. So now I'm kind of moving over into, I want to play some Naughty Dog games and that kind, but it changes. Like I have the list. Right now, I have a numbered order of like 98 games that I did earlier in the year to try to cycle through PlayStation, PS3, PS4, Nintendo, and just to give variety. But I don't always follow it, so it varies. So yeah, that is my backlog confession for all of you to know.
All right.
Yep.
That sounds like you have a problem.
Yeah, well.
That's because he does.
Yeah, but it's a problem. But it's a problem that like Lucas, you said, it's your hobby.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're a moviegoer, like you'll have a bunch of movies and you'll find a deal and you'll watch it whenever. It's like Netflix. People with books. Just have books on your shelves. Yeah, I bought a book. It was $2. It's on my shelf, and I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah.
It's just one of your hobbies, so I totally get that.
And it doesn't.
It's just
interfere with life,
problem.
And it doesn't. Yeah, it's a fun problem to have, and it's something that a lot of the games that are on there have to do with the fact that I spent money on it, and I want to give it value. I don't want to just throw it away. So, if I at least have a plan to eventually play it, to kind of like. To justify that I spent money on it, whether I've been paying money for PS Plus or I bought a game on sale or whatever, I want to give it a go. And I know that if I don't write it down or if I don't have a backlog to keep track of it, I'm going to forget about it. And it's going to, in my mind, it's going to be a waste of money that I've earned or someone's gotten for me or whatever. So that plays into it a lot too. And,
cool. Yeah,
and I just like lists. I mean, I make lists for everything. I make lists for to-do lists for life, for ministry, for my family. I'm like, what are the top 10 things I can do with my kids to have fun together? And like I like to make sure it's varied, make sure that I'm not just doing the same thing over and over again. So I make lists for all kinds of stuff. So for me, it just goes into that practice of making lists for life, because it helps me it helps me not to stress out. Because to me, I get stressed out when I don't know what I should do next. But if I have a list, if I have something that I know it's down on paper, whether it's for video games or for my family or for this podcast, like I write down so much stuff. I could show you guys all the documents I have of all the things I've written down from what I've said on the show. If I didn't write that stuff down, I would stress. Like I would stress about what I'm doing. But instead, I write it down and I don't have to remember it. It's there. And I can just leave it. And when I get to it, I get to it. When I don't want to get to it, I don't get to it. So it's kind of that philosophy that kind of guides me and drives me with that kind of stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. So our joiners, some of them have backlogs, and some of them want to share about it. Let's see. Tim Pollen said, my backlog is considerably smaller than it was 2 years ago when he completed 70 plus games. Yeah,
Man.
my man. The important ones left are Horizon Zero Dawn Frozen Wilds DLC. That is also on my list, Tim. So I look forward to hear what you think of it. Far Cry 3 Classic Edition, Shadow of Mordor, Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, and Driver San Francisco. Now, is that like...
Was that a PS2 game?
Is that a PS2? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, all right, Driver San
way back.
Francisco.
Yeah.
Those games were ahead of their time, though, for real.
They were.
Oh my gosh.
Those driver
good
games, they were
stuff.
awesome.
Yes.
He said, he asked, of course, a rhetorical question. What keeps me from finishing these games? Could it be replaying Uncharted and Black Flag numerous times? Nah.
I can understand the Black Flag when that game was awesome.
Well, if we all remember when we reviewed his PlayStation history, he had Black Flag on his list twice in his top 3 because he had played it so much on PS4 and PS3. Kudos to you, Tim Pollen. Ryan Straube, he said, usually what keeps me from finishing games are playing games that friends recommend with them. My backlog is pretty massive thanks to playing on various platforms and humble bundle deals on PC. Oh man, PC is the worst. They sell so many games for like 50 cents and you can get hundreds of games for nothing. The games I want to finish off first in no particular order are Beat Saber, PSVR. Not sure if I have enough rhythm to complete it. Hey, Ryan, you talk to that old Patrick Novosel. He is a master of disaster when it comes to Beat Saber.
Beat Saber. Oh, that was just a fun few months of gaming. You know, I
And
platinumed
sweating.
that game.
Lots of sweating,
And
I would imagine.
It like with the VR headset, you know, I've said it before, like you throw it on and you can play for maybe 45 minutes to an hour and then it starts to feel a little weird.
Yeah.
Your head feels weird. But with Beat Saber, I could play that game for hours.
Yeah.
Only because you were stationary and just moving. So you had a lot of sweat going on. You're not moving like around. You know, you're stationary the entire time. So that's a good game.
Mm-hmm. Another PSVR game he has on his backlist is Moss. Little mouse game. Heard good things. Of course, The Last of Us 2, Dead Cells. You're welcome. Void Bastards, Death Squared, Dead Nation. Patrick can help you with that. He'd love to play the final boss since he didn't get to last time. Kirby's All-Stars.
Snuck that in there.
And Rayman Legends. Some of these are co-op, so hit me up if you want to team up, Patrick.
I love Rayman Legends.
Yeah, Rayman Legends is
game.
amazing. It's good stuff. Hoffa VC85 said, I've stopped having lists of backlog games. He's a recovering guy. So good for you, buddy. However, I haven't played or finished yet Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, AC Odyssey. Then he says Dead Cells 1 BC, 2 BC, 3 BC, 4 BC, 5 BC. I'm so happy he mentioned that because that means he's going to try to beat it. Moonlighter, Rogue Legacy, also a really great roguelite game. Xenoblade Chronicles, and much more. Hoffa, it sounds like you still have a backlog game. You're just
Yep.
You're just pretending like you don't.
In denial.
Especially with those Xenoblade games. Holy crap, those games are long.
Yeah, those are
JRPG
super long.
type stuff.
Yeah, they're JRPG to the max. What has been keeping me from playing them? Good question. I believe it's related with the time I have to play per day and the love I have at the moment for multiplayer games. They're easy to pick up and play. Sometimes I only have 1 hour to play. A game like Red Dead Redemption 2 being played 1 hour per day is not enjoyable. I get that. That's definitely had an effect on my, I'm not complaining at all, but playing more multiplayer with Patrick, with Mark, with some other people in the community has been amazingly fun, and I've done it a lot the past 2 years, but it's definitely slowed down the backlog. But again, I wouldn't trade it for anything else. And, playing Division 2 with you guys and just crawling along in that one mission at a time is fine. It's fun. Let's see. Friggin' Nutcase Travis said, all the new titles are my backlog. Sold the PS4 to get top dollar for it before PS5 comes out. Only just have the Switch Lite now. So he lightened the load.
He's prepping.
Yep, he's going to
All right.
start afresh with that PS5. Now, if it's as backwards compatible as I hope it is, as I've read it should be, you'll still have that backlog. Because I've read that you can put PS4 games in it and it'll work. And even I think your digital games, a lot of them anyways. So
Yeah, anything you've bought on the PSN store will be able to be played on the PS5.
yeah. So I'm really excited about that. That was the one thing I was looking for. And so the last one from Discord, is Ryan Straubly doubling up. He wanted to know, what games have you guys bought multiple times? I've bought World of Goo 3 or 4 times, Unreal Tournament 3 times, and bought his second version of Plants vs. Zombies. Have you guys bought any games multiple times? Let's hear it. What are they? Confess.
Sure have.
Resident Evil.
Oh,
the original. I bought that for PS1. I bought it for GameCube when they had remade it. Not really remade it, but up-resed it, I guess. And then I got it for PS3, and then I think it came out on PS4, and I bought it again. Just love that game. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I have bought Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time many times. I had the physical copy when it came out. I bought it on the Wii in the eShop, on the Wii U in the eShop. I owned it on when I had my 2DS. I had Ocarina of Time 3D. So yeah, I have bought that many times.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot. I bought Mortal Kombat. I bought Resident Evil on the Vita as well.
Nice.
I have bought a game that's just called Pirates of the Caribbean. It's an original Xbox game. I bought it 3 times.
Nice.
Wow. Nice.
It was kind of like Black Flag, but way crappier before
Right.
Black Flag was a thing.
Yeah.
Open world pirate game.
Yeah. Nice. I can't think of any games honestly that I've purchased multiple times, but I mean recently I've platinumed Dead Cells twice, so I'm gonna say that counts as my buying it twice because I paid with it for my time and my sanity. All right, going over to Twitter. Barnaby Butterteeth, the first rule of backlog, we do not speak of backlog. Too late. Oops. Dusting the Wii U.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, we ruined that one. Dusting the Wii U off, I realized I'd never finished a couple games there. Perhaps a time to go back. That old Wii U. I'm interested to know, Barnaby Butters, what are the games that you've never finished on there?
You know what? There's a Wii U game that I would have been considering buying a Wii U. Was I think it was Mario 3D World. I think that's what it's called.
Oh yeah.
But I guess it's being released on the Switch this year. So when they had come out, they said that they're re-releasing it on Switch. I'm like, good. I don't have to buy a Wii U because Clark really wanted it. We were over his cousin's house and we were just playing their Wii U, and it was a multiplayer like Super Mario Odyssey kind of game.
Yep.
And we had a good time. and I'm just so glad I don't have to buy a Wii U just for that game.
I'm considering buying a Wii U again because that's one of the main ways that you can play a lot of retro games. Because unfortunately the Wii eShop is closed. They shut that down.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
but the Wii U eShop is still open, as far as I know. So I could go back and play obviously NES and SNES and N64 games and all those things like that I want to play. So I'm strongly considering that. When I bought those games on Wii U, I was borrowing the Wii U from a friend. So I do not have the Wii U anymore.
Mm-hmm. I am also considering the Wii U. I've been considering buying a Wii U for a while because I've had a Wii that my family and I still play. We play Wii Party, we play Mario Kart, we play Boom Blocks, I think I've talked about before. We play lots of games on the Wii, and it's like 11 years old, and I'm like, when is this thing going to die? And I feel like the Wii U is the next step, so then I can keep playing the Wii games we have and maybe get some of the others. Like, I really want to play Mario Kart 8. I mean, I'd love to play it on the Switch version because it's probably even like way better than the Wii U version, but I'd settle for the Wii U version with my family, like some of the games that are on there, like Super Mario 3D World, like Patrick said. But Nintendo prices are the worst. Like, they don't do sales, they don't go down in price. It is really hard to find a decent price. So to me, it's like, if I'm going to spend that much money, I'd rather just spend a little more and get a PS5 than get a Wii U, because the price is not going to be vastly that different for how different everything else is about it. All right.
Did you say the Wii's only 11 years old? That can't be right.
Am I? I mean, no, I'm not saying the Wii's 11 years old. My Wii's 11 years old. I got it in 2009. Gotcha. I was late to the party, pal. So I didn't get it. I didn't get it right away. And so I got it late, 2009.
The Wii came out in like 06 or
I believe so. Yeah.
My Wii is 11 years old.
Okay.
So I'm afraid it's going to die here one of these days. We played Jeopardy on it the other day. Oh no, Wheel of Fortune.
How do you I don't understand playing Jeopardy in a video game form, because you have to like spell everything out.
Well, you can play the multiple choice version, which is easier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's nice. But instead, we were going to play Jeopardy, and then Mindy are like, I don't think the kids will really get into that. So we're like, let's play Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. The kids weren't into that either. Remember when I told you about the word Yahtzee game? It was better than that, but the kids are still like, they're just buying a bunch of vowels. They have no money. They don't understand what's happening. So it's just like, what is happening? Mindy helped James.
You're not supposed to go broke in Wheel of Fortune.
Correct. You want the money. Someone who's also wants the money, Bad Gamer Elite, said on Twitter, I'm a sucker for a sale and a photo mode. I easily have well over 140 games waiting for that first load screen.
That
sounds about right.
I'm not alone.
Sounds like Humble Bundle to me.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Lim. Lim Filia, my 100+ backlog buddy.
Love you, Kozo.
Woo. Splig at Dopalicious on the Twitter. He said, Transistor, Bioshock Infinite for my second triple platting the series. There's more, but shrug emoji. That was all he wrote. So he has 3 games in his backlog. That's not bad.
Not horrible.
Nope. Not bad at all. All right. Well, that's all for this bodacious backlog bantering. We hope you will connect with us beyond listening. Follow us and chat with us on Twitter at the GMG Podcast or Discord. Again, the link is in the show notes or on the Twitter profile. We also do email, thegoodmorningguys@gmail.com. And finally, you can call us at what number, Mark?
929 GMG Guys.
Yes. But why should they leave a message?
So that their voice could be heard?
Yes. And you know, of course, what else should be heard?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. That GMG music playlist that any and all can hear on Spotify and Apple Music.
Mm-hmm.
What you got for us? Backlog music.
Yeah, so I tried this week for our selections to pick songs about finishing what you're starting or running behind, like being behind on things. I tried to go in that vein.
Okay.
So our 3 songs for this week are Mercy Me's Finish What He Started, which is a good song. I enjoy that. Jason Mraz's Catch Up to You, also a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And Jackson Browne's Running on Empty, which talks about running behind in the song.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Classic song. Run around. Yep. Yeah, so those are the 3 songs. And before we go, I just want to, I know this is kind of ending on a downer, but I kind of wanted to just put this out there and send our condolences to the family of Nick Cordero. Several weeks ago, we had Justine Huxley on, and she was talking to us about Nick Cordero, who's an actor, singer. He was on Broadway, and he got COVID-19, and they had to, I want to say it was his leg they had to amputate, and things like that. He was just in a really rough spot, and unfortunately, he passed away from complications of coronavirus. So he has a wife and daughter that he leaves behind. So our condolences go out to his family. We are praying for you, and I hope you find peace in this difficult time. So
Definitely.
Yeah, praying for sure.
For sure. So next week, we may or may not have a guest. If we don't, Ronnie, just so you know, you're in charge.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay, boss.
So any guesses what you'll talk about next week?
No, I like to come up with it right before the show.
Of course. That sounds perfect.
Pure Ronnie style.
Nothing Part 2.
A little bit more nothing.
Yeah, alrighty then. Mark, Pat, and Ronnie J, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners, go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game.
1, 2, 3, 4.